Hey, I'm Wes Bohr.
And I'm Caleb Cartwright. And today, we're going to get into some tight ends.
Nice.
Wes, you got any nice tight end jokes here?
Why did the butt get a slap?
Why?
It was being cheeky.
Ah! Welcome, one and all. We're back again. I know you've all missed us. We are terrible at keeping our word. But here we are, life in a fantasy football world. Thank you all for joining us for episode 15. We've made it there. I didn't even think I could count that high. Every time I put in the episode title, I'm thinking, what is the next digit that comes after this?
I call this episode Third Five.
Third five. You only know multiples. That's it.
Yes, this episode's going to be double in how terrible it is since we had 2 weeks to really muck everything up. So everything in this podcast is going to be so inaccurate. We're going to be talking about three-pointers, goals.
That's it. We've forgotten that it's even a fantasy football podcast. We're going to go into something totally different.
We're going to get into politics.
Yeah, everyone wants us to talk about politics.
Yeah, we're going to get into some neutral topics like religion, racism, politics.
That's it.
Something that's not going to wrinkle any. Never mind. Go ahead.
And butts, of course. Yeah.
Yeah. Topic today is butts.
Top 5 male butts all time. Well, we thank you for being patient with us. We both have had very busy couple of weeks, so we're happy to be back. Happy to be recording again. Thank you for everybody that's been following us on Twitter, for the comments we've got on Instagram. We are happy to be here, and today we're finishing off taking our position outlook, and we're taking a look at tight ends. Yeah.
We're going to finish up with a tight end ranking.
We're going to take a look at some players we're becoming a little more excited about, at least one each.
Yes, that will actually tighten our own ends when we look at the stats.
I'm almost afraid to talk about them because we're getting so close to the season now.
I feel like
I don't want to ruin anything, and I don't want you to take my special guys.
Your special guys. I feel like we should start taking a tally of butt puns throughout this podcast because I feel like it could make a record.
Okay, well, listen, if anybody listens to this podcast, your job is to go back to the beginning, start over from now because we're only 3 minutes in, and get a counter and count how many butt-related jokes or comments in the entire podcast. If you do it, you're going to get a special prize. Let's just say that. Ooh. I don't know what it is yet. Special prize. Nice. Could be a jersey from Pristine Auction. Who knows? Something like that.
Hey, Caleb, what did one butt cheek say to the other?
Didn't you already say that one?
What did one butt cheek say to the other butt cheek? Together, we can stop this crap.
Oh, that one is so much better. I like that one. 2 thumbs up.
Let's restart the podcast and start with that joke.
Brown thumb.
Okay. Let's talk about whatever this thing's supposed to be about.
Let's talk about the old pigskin. That's what we're getting into.
The old pigskin.
News is starting to heat up a little bit, but not really. What am I? I'm lying. Has anybody heard? Marvin Jones apparently is being. He's not very happy with where he's at right now. And so there's some speculation that he may be traded. There's been speculation as to the deal that might go around. Marvin Jones is, 30 years old at this point? He's a seasoned veteran. He's been a great
29
fantasy. 29. Very
just
close.
Turned 29. Very close. I'm impressed.
Great fantasy asset. Wherever he goes, I think he will be utilized enough to be drafted at some point. Even now, but he's going way back at the 9th round. I guess it depends on where he goes if I'll be interested in Marvin Jones. Really.
Yeah. Marvin Jones reminds me of Marvin Gaye. Can you name a Marvin Gaye song?
Let's get it on.
That's him, right?
Yeah.
Let's get it on. Type that into Google, and some weird websites came out. No, I'm just kidding. That is Marvin Gaye. Very good. Yeah, Marvin Jones. I don't know what his big gripe is, man. Like, they trade Golden Tate away. That's one. I mean, he's going to be getting more targets. I don't know what all of a sudden he's not happy in Detroit. What a baby. But this is the offseason, and I mean, I'm sure Detroit just he unfollowed him on Twitter. Ooh.
Well, you don't know if their head coach is swinging his battle axe his way.
Maybe he's part elf,
down.
And that could really rub Patricia the wrong way if he's elf.
He might.
He's a bit elvish.
I mean, be honest, more Orokai, but something like that.
Well, I don't want to have to get into how elves and dwarves butt heads, but I think we all know how that ended up. No, seriously.
That's all we got on Marvin Jones.
I think week 1 he'll be a Detroit Lion. I think this is stupid.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. I only put this in the notes because I'm very excited. Both of us, I think, are high on Freeman, and we believe that if he's healthy, he's going to be a great fantasy asset. And the news is currently that Devontae Freeman is back to his old self. He is ready to rock and roll going into the season.
Free that man.
People are throwing shade on him, man. He is a dominant running back. He can make a lot of big plays in a high-powered offense. So I'm very excited for some Devontae Freeman in my life.
Dude, I hope they keep throwing shade on him because I'll be hanging out in the shade with Devontae as my number 1 running back. Psych, number 2. But he's still going to be really good.
I think so.
That added nothing to the conversation. Go ahead.
Now, Wes, just last thing. I really want to know your genuine opinion on Amari Cooper. I understand you know how much. Not that I hate the guy, but at this point,
you hate that guy.
I'm so mad at how high everybody is on him that I feel like I don't want him on any of my teams. But he came out saying that he wants to get 2,000 yards receiving this season. What do you think?
The fact that he said that, I really like that. Psych. That's who gives a crap? I'm going to come out and say, I hope I rush for 5,000 yards this year. What's that have effect on anything? I mean, he hasn't had a spectacular career to catch 2,000 yards. Has that ever been even? No one's ever caught 2,000 yards, right?
I don't think so. I think.
So he's going to. So go ahead.
What's the record in the 1800s? I think.
Has anyone caught 2,000 yards in a season?
Live research, everyone. This is the only place you're getting live research.
Calvin Johnson. Very good, Caleb. You get the star. 1,964 yards set by Calvin Johnson. So what he's saying is he's going to have the best receiving season statistically, yardage-wise, ever in the history of the NFL. The Raiders he couldn't catch a freaking cold in Oakland, and now all of a sudden he's going to do something Calvin Johnson, Jerry Rice, Antonio Brown has never done. Shut up.
Yes.
Come to the dark side. I like him.
Feed your body.
Let it consume you. Yeah, I don't mind Amari Cooper, but I know he's not going to be on any of my teams because I just think he's ranked a little high, but I have nothing against. I think really people are too in love with him, but I think he's going to be a good receiver on teams. It's just people are going to have him as a number 1 receiver, and I don't think he's any better than a number 2.
Right.
And by number 2, I mean poop.
Yeah. Butts and stuff.
Yeah, heinies.
Somebody better be counting.
Speaking of poop, where's that come from, Caleb? Tight end.
I was going to answer.
Caleb, where's poop come from?
Tight end.
Aren't we on the same page today?
This week we're going to cover as many as we can. We're going to aim for 10, but things started to get really hairy in the back end of the tight ends.
Well done. Was that on purpose?
No, it wasn't. I'm going to leave now, though. Yes, on that note, you can finish this.
I would high five you if you were here right now. That's
the
so
high note
sick,
of my
Caleb.
career.
You're so sick.
So we're getting into tight ends.
I wish I had the Joker. I wish I had the Joker quote when he said, "Poor choice of words." I just want to insert that right there after you said it, Harry.
We're going to have to start working on some clips and stuff. So, as in consensus format per usual, and I'm just going to outright say it, our top three we are in entire agreement on. And
Probably
they're the
most
same,
people are.
Yeah, they're the same top three that any thinking person has. I've seen some people dropping my man Kittle down.
People that want to take a hot take, that's like, hey, Hunter Henry's going to be the number one tight end this year. Like, that's my hot, like, come on.
Yeah, I get it. I get it. Because if you're right, you're the ballsiest person ever. And if you're wrong, then who cares? Because you're just taking a hot take.
But the fact that we have Travis Kelce as number one, no one's going to be like, dang.
Yeah.
But that's what's going to probably happen.
I don't know, man. I'm not going to take Kelce. I think he's a little shaky. No, as you said, Travis Kelce, number one. What more can be said about this guy? He is, I don't know. In my opinion, he might be better than Gronkowski. He seems like he's got a little more swagger to him.
He's a total.
What it is.
He's a knob for sure.
Absolutely. But, I mean, he was on a Bachelor type show on I can't remember the network, but
please, I think don't tell the network. We don't want to know what reality show he was on.
I don't know, but he was the Bachelor on it. That's the kind of guy Mr. Travis Kelce is. But he is a stud tight end. Wes, you grabbed him last year, and I hate you for it, but
I grabbed him all right.
Unbelievable. He set the tight end record for receiving yards, only to be broken shortly after by George Kittle,
who I also grabbed last year.
Who you also grabbed last year. And
I had 2 handfuls of tight ends by the end of that draft.
You did. Thankfully, I got Kittle from you.
Yeah, thanks. But I won that trade for a week after Cooper Kupp's legs fell off.
He got Cooper Kupp on his big explosive Thursday night game, and then he got injured. He was done. Too bad.
Yeah, laugh it up.
Hey, man, I still lost too.
Okay.
So Travis Kelce, fantastic receiver. You can't go wrong. The problem is, and Wes, what's the problem here?
Might be drafted a little too high, maybe?
Any top 3 receiver, unfortunately. Now, think about it this way. If you know you're getting, for sure, end of season, a top 3 receiver, okay? For sure, top 3 receiver. And here you are, instead of grabbing that top 3 receiver in second round, you're taking a most likely top 10 wide receiver, right, in a non-tight end. What do you think the safer pick really is here?
Yeah, I see. I'm looking at you'd have to draft him before Juju Smith, Dalvin Cook, Mike Evans, Antonio Brown. I see what you're saying. Yeah. I'm going to give you a little rundown on Travis here.
Yeah.
Like you said, he'd have been a top 12 receiver last year in any format. Explosive receiver with or without Tyreek Hill. It doesn't really matter. I had him last year. His week 1 scared me. It was 1 catch for like 8 yards or something.
Right.
1 catch for 6 yards. I'm like, cripes. After that week 1, he never had less than 5 catches, and he never had a single-digit fantasy football outing. So consistent, heck yes. My only argument about where he's being taken is, say you solidify that tight end with the best tight end who's going to be giving you constant points. How do I want to say this? Getting your tight end solidified there, whatever receiver you'll take instead of your wherever tight end you get in the 4th or 5th, what's the difference there? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So like maybe you want OJ Howard or something, I don't know, and instead you could get Cooper Kupp. Like, I don't know. It's all preference. I like the plug and play, and I hate streaming sometimes because I always pick the wrong thing.
Yeah.
So it's nice to plug and play, but a 2nd round pick is pretty spicy.
Yeah, I mean, you have to. Running backs drop off really quick. There's in the first few rounds, running backs are going like hotcakes for sure. Then, so if you miss out on completing running back core in those first few rounds, it's really hard to round it out. And then you're just planning on sleepers, on hopefuls, right? And this goes for, I'm just going to go out and say it. We're covering all the first three. Ertz is our number 2.
Have you ever had a hot cake, Caleb?
In pancake form, I guess.
And they go pretty quick?
Very quick. Both ends.
All right.
Yeah.
Let's keep this podcast on the lewd track.
All right. Anyway, Zach Ertz is our consensus number 2, and George Kittle is our consensus number 3. Let's talk about them together, because I really don't necessarily have a problem with anybody taking any 3 of these tight ends early, because you'll have to, because these seem like the most sure options that you can get. Zach Ertz is in an offense with Carson Wentz, who has, it's hard to say that he has a number 1 for sure wide receiver going into the season all the time. It's besides Ertz, there's few other people on that team. Maybe Dallas Goedert is the biggest threat to Ertz. George Kittle, same thing. I understand that there's a lot of receivers to feed, but when you have somebody that's that big of a target and you're being pressured, guess who you're going to throw it to? You're going to throw it to the guy that's going to catch it, even if he's surrounded by 3 different people. It remains to be seen with the rest of the tight ends on this list. But those 3 guys, they're fantastic receivers. If you have to take them, you have to take them early. You just grab them and you commit. You plug them and they don't move from your roster unless they get injured.
You set them and forget them.
Yes.
You were supposed to say the last part with me.
Oh, sorry.
God, we can't get anything. I'm just going to go over Ertz and Kittle. I'm basically going to say what you did, except with different words. Ertz was second in receptions last year. He only had 4 games with less than 5 receptions. And we all know Carson Wentz has a bromance with him. It's his go-to. Whenever Foles came in, Ertz production dropped a little bit. So a healthy Wentz makes him number 2 for me. Kittle, 25% of his targets last year, Caleb, were uncatchable. And that's because you had a bunch of goofballs quarterbacking last year. If Jimmy G can stay healthy, I believe that 25% goes down significantly, and that could mean more production. Also, though, there's a lot more weapons like we were talking about. And I've heard people, sometimes when you get better weapons, sometimes you hear, oh, it's going to open it up. No more double teams. Or or you can say, more weapons. He's not going to get as many looks. It's all how you feel about the guy, really. These top 3 tight ends, I don't have an issue what order you guys put them in, but they are the top 3 tight ends.
I'm sorry. Anybody that doesn't agree, you can get out.
You can get the heck out of town.
Nobody asked you anyway.
Yeah, I didn't.
Number 4 comes in on Mr. Evan Ingram. Wes, you have him at 4. I have him at 5. I throw a lot of hate towards Eli Manning, but he has won 2 Super Bowls. Still, we have Evan Ingram projected, at least for our rankings, to come in at number 4. Why do you like Evan Ingram so much for this offense? Why not Golden Tate?
Since we're talking about tight ends, I could say something about Golden Tate, but I won't. Evan Ingram, he's awesome when Odell is not there. And guess what, Caleb? Odell is not there. His rookie year, when Odell Beckham only played 4 games, he had an awesome season. That was his big season coming out, okay? He sort of had a dip last year. It's because Odell Beckham had a good chunk of the year where he was healthy. Okay, he gets hurt at the end of the year. Evan Ingram's receptions a game double. They go from 3 to 6. And if you look at the last couple weeks, I think we went over Evan Ingram early on in the podcast, like one of the first ones. He was like a top 3 or top 2 tight end the last couple weeks of fantasy football. So, and it was no coincidence that Odell Beckham was hurt those weeks. So I think with him out, Evan Ingram could definitely be a big weapon. Eli Manning is a little wiener. He's not going to be chucking the ball down the field because we saw when he did last year, it was terrible. So Evan Ingram, 5-10 yards down the field, that's what you're going to be seeing. Golden Tate, I don't know. He's not going to do that much. He wasn't Saw what he did in Philly last year, so I like him as number 4, and I think he's a lot more affordable than some of the other tight ends.
Yeah. Obviously, he's had some injury concerns as well, but I would say at least half of the tight ends on this list have also had injury concerns. So you can never bank on that. Just take the talent that he is on an offense that needs him.
I'll say this. To get the top 3 tight ends, you're going to have to pass on people like Keenan Allen, A.J. Green, Patrick Mahomes. To get Evan Ingram, you got to pass on people like Mike Williams, Sammy Watkins, Darius Geis. Like, I feel a lot more comfortable doing that.
Sammy!
I don't know what that was.
Oh, that was just me shouting Sammy's name. I hate Sammy, but I don't know why people like him. So
you got a lot of hate for a lot of players out there, man.
Yeah, I got to stop using that word. I don't know what's wrong with me.
Or use it more often.
Maybe I don't know. I have to take one of those chill pills I hear people talking about.
I think they're illegal. I think the street name is chill pill, but I think what it really is ecstasy.
Oh, that'll do.
That'll do quite nice.
Number 5, falling in, is Hunter Henry. Wes, you have him at number 6. I have him at number 4. The main reason I like Hunter Henry so much is, you have a big wide receiver target gone. You have a quarterback who is starting to age, who likes his tight ends, and you have Antonio Gates, who is no longer on the team, at least currently. And you have Hunter Henry, who is a very talented tight end, who in the playoffs last season came in very hot and was ready to dominate. So going into this season, he has a lot to prove as who he is as a great receiver. So how can you not like this guy on a Chargers team with a quarterback that needs him?
He needs him.
I mean, we're coming to the end of Phillip Rivers' career. He's going to give it his all. He's going to use everything that he has, and Hunter Henry is primed to take advantage of that, to take advantage of his tight end position.
Stretch.
Yeah, sorry.
Okay, Hunter Henry. No Gates, no Tyrell Williams. He's finally healthy. Lots of opportunity, like you were saying. Rivers is a fan of his tight ends, giggity. Scored tight ends in basically 41% of his games, so daddy like. But his career average is about 2.5 receptions a game. Daddy don't like. But no Antonio Gates. His whole career has been with Antonio Gates. So as the sole number 1 tight end on that team, we're finally going to see what Hunter Henry's all about. That's Daddy why I have him. Again? Daddy will sit and wait and see.
Okay.
Because we've never seen him in this role. That's why I have him a little lower, is because there's a lot of question marks around him. Not big ones, but medium ones. So Daddy's just going to sit back, relax, and watch what happens.
I'm going to call you out a little bit here.
Oh,
if that's okay.
Call me.
Okay. So one of our very first episodes, one of your guys to watch, one of your guys you're very excited about was Hunter Henry, and you foresaw a top 5 finish for this fella.
You rat bass! I had him at 6. I had him at 5 back then. Gosh. You'd make a good wife, you know that?
We don't mean any offense to that, except for the wives out there. It's so
I'm
close.
Very much on the fence with him. Like, I think he's going to be good this year. How good? I think he's going to be around that top 5, top 6. If you're insisting, dear.
We didn't really tell people. There's 2 tiers to the tight ends this year. 1 through 3 and 4 through infinity.
Yes.
Let's just
and
put
that's
that
how many.
out there.
That's how long our rankings go today. We're just going to do the top infinity, and then we're going to end it.
Oh, I didn't prepare my gauntlet.
Gauntlet?
For infinity?
Oh, and that's a wrap, folks.
Number 6 is
Thanks for joining
Howard.
us.
O.J. Howard, Wes, you like him better than Hunter Henry. Number 5, I have him back at 7. OJ Howard also has dealt with some injuries, as per usual, for the tight end position. And he's on a team with a coach that does not like tight ends. Why do you like OJ Howard so much?
Well, Bruce Arians came out and said he's all about that OJ. He wants a glass of that OJ. He's...
I don't know what to say.
If he was healthy last year, 55 catches, 900 yards, 8 touchdowns. That'd be nice. But, like you said, new coach, how's he going to deal with him? Bruce Arians, he doesn't like tight ends, man, but he don't hate tight ends. And he has come out and said he's never had a weapon like O.J. Howard at tight end. So we'll wait and see. He averaged, in his 2-year career, he's averaged 16.5 yards a catch. Are you kidding me, Caleb? I'm not. He has great size. He's a great athlete. Why I don't like him? Cameron Brate, Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, and an erratic, I almost said an erect, an erratic Winston has me a little hesitant.
Listen, if Winston can stay erect the whole season, we won't have any problem with O.J. Howard.
Oh, nice. And that is not dirty at all.
Now it is.
So everyone stop thinking about it.
Oh, man. Okay. Let's move on. Let's move on. Number 7, I'm really excited. Last year, I thought I was excited about this guy. No, this year, I'm really excited about Mr. Vance McDonald. Can I just tell you, last episode, you made a comment about that. I know you don't get to watch that many Steelers games, blah, 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 I'm a Dolphins fan. As a Dolphins fan that doesn't live in Florida, I get to watch very few Miami games, and we live in Pennsylvania, for those of you who don't know. I watch a lot of Steelers games, all right, because that's what I get to watch. They're on Sunday night all the time and Monday night all the time, and what do you get? Anyway, so I'm high on a lot of Steelers players this year, including Vance McDonald, and I think we both are. He is a seasoned veteran on that team. Wes, you have him at 7, I have him at 6. We have him ranked at 7 as our consensus. He's a seasoned veteran on a team that has a lot of young players. My only problem with Vance McDonald is that the Steelers have not sustained a high-end tight end. Question for you. Who would you say is the best Steelers tight end in recent history?
Heath Miller.
Okay. Heath Miller. Can I give you a little fun fact for Heath Miller really quick?
Sure.
You're probably only saying yes because I'm asking you.
I know you're going to down Heath Miller, and I swear to God, man.
No, I mean, for the team, fine, okay? And this is not a bad season, by the way. His best season came back in 2012, 71 catches, 816 yards, and 8 touchdowns.
Mm-hmm.
Really good for a tight end. That was a fluke within his career. He had one other season that was close. And besides that, early in his career, he had some high touchdown count, but he had 2 touchdowns in a season. 3, 1, 2, 2. The Steelers do not focus on the tight end position. So that's my only holdback on Vance McDonald. But again, they're missing a lot of parts of this team. Vance McDonald has shown him to be a fantastic receiver, and the league is kind of going this direction of having these super athletic tight ends. So that's why I love Vance McDonald, and I'm willing to take the leap on him on the Steelers team that's going to throw the ball a lot. That's it.
Very good, Caleb. Very good. Vance McDonald, he's got all the tools, man, to be a great tight end. It's just he can't stay healthy. He's missed 23 games in his career. 23, man. That's like a season and a half. He's only had 70 receiving yards or more in only 4 of his 73 games. So why the heck is he this high in my rankings? No Antonio Brown, no Jesse James, and I think we can both agree when he's healthy, you can see what he is capable of. He's speedy, athletic. Ben, they might have not a lot of stats, but he uses his tight ends as safety valves. I think he could see a career year. If you take Jesse James and Vance McDonald's stats, if you take their stats and combine it last year, it'll be over 1,000 yards. So the tight ends are used. It's just they haven't had a go-to tight end here recently.
All right. Well, that being said, we're going to go on to Mr. David Njoku. Wes, you have him at 9. I have him at 8. That is an offense that has ridiculous amount of offensive weapons. My poor Browns. This has disappointment written all over them for this entire season. I really, even you as a Steelers fan, you must hope that they do something this year. And David Njoku is part of that team, and he was obviously a rookie last year. Going to come into this season as the main target as a tight end. He could very well, if Baker Mayfield takes off, he could have a big year.
I don't know about that, Caleb. You see your breaks? Hit them.
I don't mind.
It is true. He had a really good year last year. He doubled his receptions and his yards from his rookie year, but Odell freaking Beckham is there, man. Don't forget about that. So he's going to take a hit to an already talented offense. He ranked 7th in targets for tight ends last year, but 9th in fantasy points. So he's going to need to get more efficient if he's going to, crack the top 6 or 7. But with that offense the way it's going, and he has a little case of the dropsies, I don't see him making it into the top 5.
Yeah.
He's not as tight of a tight end as never mind. Go ahead.
We got to keep the count going. Again, he was a rookie coming into this season. Give him the experience. He could be a great part of that offense, but there's a lot of mouths to feed. Like, so many, more than most teams in the entire.
Like, after my research, it's like a crazy amount.
It's like more than
like
one.
So much.
Have you counted? At number 9, we both have Jack Doyle there.
Doyle.
A lot of people might be offended by this because there's a lot of people very high on Eric Ebron. And I'm not saying Eric Ebron is by any means bad or not going to be good, but I just think last year is is the word that I'm thinking of. You know what I mean?
Football
That's
season.
it. Yeah.
Last year was a football season.
That's what it was. And
an anomaly.
if he see, I can count on you in your vocabulary. You can do it.
Yes.
So Jack Doyle is in my opinion, a better all around type tight end. Andrew Luck still loves his tight ends. And whether it's Jack Doyle or Eric Ebron or Mo Alley Cox, there is going to be a lot of play on the tight end sort of thing. And I'm not going to make a comment on it.
My sleeper is Mo Alley. You said Mo Alley?
Mo Alley Cox, a giant man.
Top three coolest names in the NFL.
Him.
First and last name.
Ha Clinton Dix, number 1. Number 1.
It's like they were going to name their kid, and they're like, oh, yeah, Clinton Dix.
Forgot that was his name.
We didn't mean his name is Ha. Okay, Jack Doyle. Let's keep in mind, he's only 1 year removed, Caleb, from his 107 target, 80 reception year. Yes, he had some injuries last year. But when he is playing, he is obviously Luck's preferred tight end. When he came back from injury, he outsnapped Eric Ebron 196 snaps to 112. That's over 80 more snaps. Eric Ebron averaged around 3 catches when Jack Doyle was there and 5 when he was out. So obviously, I think Eric Ebron's going to take a big hit, and healthy Jack Doyle, like you said, he's a well-rounded tight end. He's not touchdown dependent like Eric Ebron. Andrew Luck really depends on him. So I feel like if you have to choose one of the Colts tight end, it's Doyle.
Yeah, to me, it just comes down to you can't predict the touchdowns every game.
Doyle rules.
If you want to roll the dice, if the rest of your team is solid and Ebron is there and you want to hope that he gets 2 touchdowns in the game, fine. Great. But you can't predict that and you can't hope on that every single week.
Didn't he have an injured kidney or something last year? Like something really gross.
I don't remember for him. No. It was a groin injury, right?
It started out as groin, and then it became something really... Oh, yeah. He needed kidney surgery. He, hurt his kidney.
Yeah, that's...
When you hurt internal organs, man, that's pretty... gross.
I think this was funny because there was a report from the Colts that Mo Alley Cox was doing fantastic and was a great receiver, blah, blah, blah. There's no other tight end on that team that was currently healthy and playing at minicamp. Nobody showed up, so yeah. Of course he's going to do great.
Lacerated kidney, man. That hurts. That hurts my kidneys.
Yikes. Yeah.
Okay.
That's it. And as for number 10, listen, it's anybody's guess. It was so wide open. It was the Wild West for us. I just put in the notes, whatever. I didn't put that, but something to that.
That's usually your notes for every podcast. Is just in 90 font.
Wing it.
Whatever. Football, whatever.
I'm just going to go over a couple of these guys because this is why we disagree, right? After David Njoku, I had Jared Cook. At number 11, I had Delaney Walker, then Eric Ebron, Trey Burton. Going over to Wes, he had Noah Fant at number 8, mind you. And I'm mentioning Noah Fant because I actually want to hear your opinion on him. Dan Njoku, Jack Doyle, Ebron, Hawkinson. You're placing the rookie tight ends in there. Historically, from what I've seen, rookie tight ends don't perform all that well. So I'm curious as to why you like Noah Fant, TJ Hawkinson so much.
Well, Caleb, historically, tight ends don't go as high as these dudes. I'm not saying they're going to be awesome, but I feel like the potential is there to take a flyer, or if they're available in your league in the first few weeks, to stream them, I feel like they could turn into something. Just like I said, I'm not saying they're going to be top 10, but Noah Fant, everyone knows Joe Flacco, if he could, would get married to his tight end. That's how much he loves them. In Baltimore, as a Pittsburgh fan, it was so annoying because all Flacco would do is check down to the freaking tight end about a zillion times a game. So Noah Fant is his new tight end. He loves his tight ends. Very athletic, man. He's like a wide receiver in a tight end's body. He's very fast. So I like him with that Joe Flacco factor. TJ Hawkinson, I think he's worth a stream. Very athletic. He won't be pulled off the field due to blocking ability. He's the best blocking tight end in the draft. He has great hands. He's not going to be dropping the ball like Detroit. It didn't work out for Eric Ebron because he freaking dropped the ball all the time. Opportunities will be there, especially if they get rid of Marvin Jones. So these guys I would keep a close eye on. I like their potential this year, even as rookies, even if you hate them for who they are, Caleb.
My only disagreement there is the one time that Joe Flacco does not like his tight ends is in the red zone. His tight ends don't score a lot of touchdowns.
That's true, but has he ever had anyone as athletic as Noah Fant? Cha-rod!
Yeah, he's rookie. That's my problem with Noah Fant.
If Noah Fant would catch a bunch of touchdowns, we would have already talked about him as a top 8 or 9 tight end. I'm just saying, I could see him getting you 7 catches a game for 50 yards. So if you're in PPR, that's what? 35 points? I mean, I don't do math good. I'm just kidding. 12 points a game. That is a good bye-week fill-in.
Absolutely. Yeah, I know. I get it. I don't agree on...
You don't have to make fun of my picks all the time, Caleb. You don't got to pick shame.
I don't always have to agree with you. You're mostly right about fantasy football.
I'm just kidding. I like when you get spicy, Caleb. It's very exciting.
Well, get your butt ready because this is about to get acid-like.
That's a push to put that word in there.
It was, and also I don't have anything to follow up with it, so it was just a...
Well, let's ascertain
the next segment.
I do not know what that word means.
We're moving on. It's called ancillary, and that's what
Ascertain
will be.
I spelled it ASSERTS like an actual.
You're putting it into Google to find out. How do I say this word?
And Google's like, listen, you child, it's not spelled like that. To find out for certain. Okay, so I ascertain we're going to be talking about the Cowboys and the Eagles, Caleb.
Oh, aren't we though?
Unless you want.
Okay, our few fans have been requesting this for a long time. So I'm like, all right, we're doing them next. The Cowboys and the Eagles, the most divisive teams, perhaps, in the National Football League.
Perhaps.
Nowadays you have the New England Patriots, but still Dallas Cowboys, Philadelphia Eagles. Wes, who do you want to take up front? Do you want the Cowboys or the Eagles?
We should start with the Cowboys, finish up with the Eagles.
Oh, you got it. Wes,
what's going
on with the Cowboys?
I feel like the Cowboys and the Eagles, yeah, if you don't love them, you hate them. But I feel like in Marvel, like you have your little bad guys, like your little rivalries and stuff. But in the end, everyone is against Thanos. Everyone is against the Patriots. You know what I'm saying?
Just want them to fall.
I feel like that's how it is. Yeah, you can have your little squabbles, Eagles, Cowboys, but in the end, everyone unites to try and kill the Patriots.
I'm not going to disagree with you. That's the truth.
After my little nerd rant, I'll get to what we're supposed to do. Dallas Cowboys. They're a team from Dallas. Why do I like them? I like their D. Pause for laughter and go back. Could have money issues. Could have some big money issues in the future, man. That's the only bad thing about Dallas drafting so stinking well. You got to pay these guys. They just paid DeMarcus Lawrence. They're going to have to pay Dak Prescott. Ezekiel Elliott's coming up. Amari Cooper's wetting his diaper because he wants infinity dollars. God, you got Byron Jones. You got great linebackers, Jalen Smith and Vander
Esch. They got time on him.
They're going to command... he's going to command some money here in about 2 years. So, but right now, they're sitting good for the season, man. A bunch of low-risk signings this offseason, highlighted by Randall Cobb, which is going to fit right in where Cole Beasley was. So I don't think they're going to skip a beat, really. Their draft. Let's talk about their draft. Their first-round pick was basically Amari Cooper, which was pretty good. A lot of people doubted him. They made fun of Jerry Jones. But at the end of the year, it looks like it worked out because it was a late first-round pick. They got their number one receiver who basically helped turn that season around. Calm down, Caleb. I know you hate the guy. Their second-round pick.
They made the playoffs. That's all that matters.
Yeah, but they were nowhere near playoff contention until Amari Cooper came.
Yeah.
Was it he opened things up a little bit? Was it his talent? I don't know, but I just know things changed. Second-round pick, Tristan Hill from UCF. He's a rotational defensive lineman. He doesn't really have to make an immediate impact, but he's someone you can stash, keep the D-line healthy. Only fantasy relevant guys, the fourth-round pick, Tony Pollard. He's a Memphis running back. He reminds me of Tavon Austin a little bit. In college, he scored as a running back, a receiver, a returner. Only reason he's fantasy relevant is if Ezekiel Elliott goes down, you might want to pick him up. Anything you want to say before I tell you who to keep a creepy eye on?
Well, the thing I'm curious about is, do you think that Randall Cobb will have any impact on this team?
Minimal.
Okay.
I think he'll give you, if he's healthy, which I don't think he will be, I could see maybe 500 yards, 3 touchdowns. Nothing to get excited about. I'm not drafting him.
Yeah, neither am I.
Because we're going to remember, Dak Prescott does not throw for 5,000 yards.
Right. Absolutely. But
he's a good quarterback for real-life football, but fantasy, he's not going to put mind-blowing stats up.
Just in case your watch is the guy that I was going to ask you my second question, I'm going to hold back on my second question.
Everybody hold!
Okay. Who's your watch?
Oh. Michael, get those horses to
That's
Gallup.
Exactly why I held back. I was going to ask you what your opinion of Michael Gallup was.
Okay, now remember, watch. I'm not saying take him as your number 2 receiver. Just watch him. with 9 games with Amari Cooper, he saw over 5 targets a game. He had almost 14 yards a catch. Now, his first 8 games, he averaged a catch and a half a game. And his last 8 games, he doubled that to 3. Not huge, but you could see he was starting to catch on as the season went on. So it's someone I see trending up, someone you might want to keep an eye on.
Yeah, and can I just add, first-year wide receivers do not buy in. If you're in a dynasty, obviously grab them. But otherwise, do not buy in. Pick them up late in the season if they start to get hot. As you'll see by my rankings of DJ Moore, of Calvin Ridley, once they get to that second year, players like Michael Gallup can have untold potential.
Oh, no one's ever told of the potential. It's untold. Well, I'll tell you what, man. You do once in a while have your Calvin Ridleys that have like a crazy start to the season. But honestly, every rookie, it's like verbatim. You hear them. That first year, everything is so stinking fast. They're trying to remember plays. The second year, things slow down. And that's how it is for these receivers. So, yeah, Michael Gallup could be a guy that could make an impact on your fantasy team.
So who's your avoid?
You.
Well,
No, I almost made it Amari Cooper because of where he's being drafted, and I knew that would totally excite you.
yeah.
But I won't.
Rise out of it. Whatever.
Jameis Winston style. My avoid is someone, and honestly, I don't think I even have to say this, but I know there's a few people out there that will. Jason Witten, let's just not go to La La Land, okay? Let's just avoid him altogether. He's not what he's going to be used to be. He's not going to be that safety valve. He's not even going to, I don't even know if he's going to play 50% of the snaps. He's going in there as sort of a mentor for the young guys. He's like an ex-friend. He's like an ex-girlfriend, okay? How it really was and how you remember it might be two different things, okay? So don't go in thinking like, oh my gosh, like he had 1,000 yards and 13 times. He's not going to be great, okay? Reality hits you right in the groin. Listen up. Stay away from him. I don't think I have to say it, but I am. Caleb, I've done a lot of talking here. Why don't you step on in?
Oh, well, I will step on it. No, I was just thinking, I need to start guessing who your avoid.
A guessing game.
Because I had both of them dead on for sure this time.
I think you can guess my Eagles watching the avoid. You would have guessed Jason Witten?
Yes, that was. I was looking at it. I'm like, he's going to say Jason Witten because Jason Witten's coming back. He's listed as a starter. But let's talk about talk about the Philadelphia Eagles. Okay,
we just finish each other's
because apparently they are the greatest team that ever existed in the entire world, as so one of their fans will tell you. They don't
until Wentz throws an interception and then they want him traded.
The very first interception. Because it's going to happen.
Dude, there's like 3 Eagles listeners right now. They're like, unsubscribe. We're not like that.
Listen, usually I will remind you of who you are worthy of grabbing on the Cowboys. Of course, the quarterback. Of course, the running back. You know, not Amari Cooper. Maybe Michael Gallup. You know, that's it. Now, the Philadelphia Eagles, they have made some positional changes, and the most important one that I want everybody to note is Miles Sanders, the running back from Penn State. He actually was with, man, I'm just the worst right now, with the Giants' current running back, Saquon Barkley.
I'll just
Penn
watch
State.
you drown.
I see what you're doing here. No, Miles Sanders, I am very curious because I think that he can win that starting job, even though Jordan Howard is there. Jordan Howard, the problem is going to command touches. You have Carson Wentz at quarterback, Jordan Howard, Miles Sanders, Corey Clement, Wendell Smallwood, Josh Adams. Holy cow, the worst situation you could ever find. So I'm not saying here, go out and grab Miles Sanders right now in your draft.
Legally, you shouldn't grab him.
No matter what, he's starting week 1. But Miles Sanders is the type of player that a few weeks into the season, he can take that team over. The more that I've watched of him, the more videos that I've seen, the more research I've done, he has the capability of really taking over the backfield. halfway into the season. Now, keep that in mind. Not beginning of the year. Don't spend a bunch of draft capital on a player like Miles Sanders because, honestly, Jordan Howard, beginning of the season, is more valuable than Miles Sanders. Everybody else,
if anything, he's ancillary.
Listen, he is so ancillary.
Dude, I could just tell you're like pulse raised when someone else said that word. You're like, oh, you think he's ancillary too?
As for the wide receivers, it's as mixed as anybody else can get. I am very interested in J.J. Whiteside and what he can do on this team. Deshaun Jackson, bringing him back into the fold. Carson Wentz is licking his lips, Wes, as to what might happen with Deshaun Jackson. You remember what happened in the beginning of the season last year. He has somebody who was a sure deep ball. Alshon Jeffrey, I don't think either of us are ever excited about him, but some deep sleepers on this team, absolutely, positively, and arguably one of the top 3 tight ends of the entire draft. So some value on the team. You can't be mad about the Eagles. You're way higher than I am on Carson Wentz. And it just, to me, comes to the Robert Griffin effect that Carson Wentz got injured, and we'll see if he gets back to form.
Okay, I'm really going to try hard to get through this because I want to keep this under an hour. So here we go.
You got
Eagles.
10 minutes.
Healthy Carsey went. Carsey.
That's it.
Oh my God. Shut up, Wes. You're so stupid sometimes. God.
Oh, I'm so glad he came back.
I'm just going to call him Wentz.
I'm so glad.
I'm just going to call him Wentz. God. The Eagles quarterback's healthy now. He has some new weapons. Things are looking up. They're moving on up. I heard a thing on ESPN Radio the other day. They had a ranking of top talent, the most talented teams. Eagles are number 1, for sure. Free agency, they do what they always do, man. They do great. They traded for Deshaun Jackson. They signed Vinnie Curry, great replacement for Chris Long. Signed Malik Jackson, another weapon on that monster defensive line. L.J. Fort, a very underrated signing from Pittsburgh at linebacker. Draft, they had no glaring needs, man. That must be nice. No glaring needs. Just pick, I don't know. We just trade ahead of the Texans just to mess with them and get Andre Dillard, who's going to take over for Jason Peters, and he's going to be probably the best offensive lineman of this class. Second round pick, just our future running back, Miles Sanders. He could take over the number 1 back, I think, by next year for sure. Second round pick, J.J. Whiteside. In college, he had 17 yards a catch, 14 touchdowns, in a pro-style offense. That's important. Stanford is a pro-style offense. He's like Alshon Jeffrey with the box-out skills and jump balls. So I could see this guy, like we talked about, rookie receivers. I'm not saying draft him, but in a couple years, you could see him being a big part of that offense. Who am I watching, Caleb? Who am I taking my binoculars, squinting, and zooming in on right now?
On your watch, I'm actually going to take Jordan Howard.
No, you fool!
Dang it, Carson Wentz.
Carsey Wentz. Think about this. Close your eyes, Caleb.
Okay.
I'm trusting you. Close your eyes.
Got it.
Think about this offense. You got Deshaun Jackson bringing the speed. J.J. Whiteside and Dallas Goddard.
Goddard.
Oh, God. They're bringing the size. You got Zach Ertz and Alshon Jeffrey bringing reliability, okay? You have Wentz, who's averaged 36.5 passing attempts per game. With a deeper, bigger, faster group, he has a really good chance to hit it big so long as he stays, what is it, class? Healthy. If he can stay healthy, you could be looking at a top 4 quarterback. Who am I avoiding, Caleb? Who am I avoiding like a fat man in the buffet line at a Mexican restaurant?
Alshon Jeffrey.
Very good. Very good.
Close. I was so close that time.
Yes. Zach Ertz, Deshaun Jackson, second-round pick JJ. All these guys enter in the picture. Full 16 games. in 3 of the last 6 seasons, so he too has some health issues. He hasn't hit the coveted 1,000-yard mark since 2014. That's 5 years, Caleb. He hasn't had 1,000 yards for that long. That's not good.
No, that's...
Too many red flags for me to take him where he's being taken.
Yeah.
Okay? Now, you forgot something, Caleb.
Yeah, the over-under.
What crap did you forget? Over and under. Let's get over and under it. 9.5 for the Eagles. What do you say?
Oh, man. See, I'm not a big Eagles fan, but thinking about their division, I'll take the under.
Under?
I'll take 9. They can have 9 wins.
Okay. The only reason I was thinking under is if Carson Wentz does get hurt, you do not have Nick Foles there to carry your team anymore. But I'm going to go with the over. I think they can have 10, 11 wins easy.
This is their season.
If Carson Wentz... If I had $1 for every time I said if Carson Wentz is healthy, but if Carson Wentz is healthy, yeah, 10, 11 wins. With that defense, I feel, and those running backs, all the weapons they have now, Carson Wentz is the key to all of it.
Yeah, to be honest, I've heard your argument now and many people's arguments for Carson Wentz, and I'm going to be moving him up in my rankings because I understand, like, you have a quarterback that's capable and you give him unlimited weapons. It's game over for everybody else.
And when you draft him on draft day, I'm going to laugh and say, you idiot, I was never going to draft him.
You know I'm going to take a quarterback 12 rounds later.
Yeah. I draft Carson Wentz's backup. Okay. Listen, all you Cowboys fans out there, we didn't forget about you. Over under on the Cowboys at 9.
At 9. I'm going to take the over there. I still think they're going to win the division.
Ooh, hot take. I say over just because of that awesome D they have.
Yeah.
I think that's very underrated, man. They have a really good defense, a really young defense.
Did you mention what their draft was?
Heck yeah, I talked about just a few guys. The Dallas Cowboys?
Yeah, but it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Like, pretty much all their picks were defense. So, yeah. They're all about the defense, which I like that in teams. If you want to win a Super Bowl, you need to have a solid defense. That's all there is to it.
Got to have a solid D if you want to make it in this league.
Thank goodness that doesn't matter in our league.
That's true. Listen to their last first-round picks, man. Tyrone Smith, Pro Bowler. Morris Claiborne, sucked. Travis Frederick, one of the best offensive linemen. Zach Martin, one of the best offensive linemen. Byron Jones, Ezekiel Elliott, Vander Esch. That team knows how to draft.
Yeah. Yeah, it's turned out to be a very scary division, except the Giants and Redskins. Sorry, guys.
We have 30 seconds. Let's wrap this mother up.
Oh, that's it. Hey, thanks everyone for joining. Thanks everyone for coming back. Sorry it's been a couple of weeks. Here we are, back to rock and roll. We can't wait for the season. We're going to start getting into some mock drafts and all that goodness. And I'm done. Okay, bye. Sorry. Bye.
See you in a month.
Ha-da!
Ha-ha! I make fart noises with my mouth.